there. You are welcome to have a meal with me. I'm having a mishmash today. I have tea and I have sparkling water with a little bit of a juice box in it. And the thing that I'm eating is an apple and some peanut butter, some graham crackers, and some nuts. That's what I threw together today. Usually we'd be eating kind of at like the kitchen island type thing, but that's covered with a puzzle right now, so we can't eat in there. So we're going to be eating in the office anyway. So I hope you don't mind, but this is the space that I have available right now. So you're more than welcome to have a meal with me and chit chat for a little bit. Let's see how this is. Of course, to me, you can't go wrong with apple and peanut butter. You just can't. That's like, have you ever had like apple pie and cheddar cheese? It's like that. It's never a bad idea. I'm pretty sure somebody has made it a bad idea at some point, but in my experience, that combo is magic. And I do not know who was holding out on me, but graham crackers and peanut butter are also a really good idea. As someone that doesn't necessarily eat all the time, having those around is like, yeah, it's always a good thing. If I know that I'm not going to be able to eat that much that day, but I have graham crackers and peanut butter, I know that I'll have something. Now that it's New Year's, I guess we can talk about Christmas and how that ended up going. As you know, I don't usually celebrate. So I went and celebrated with my boyfriend and his family. That was really neat because I'm used to how my family would celebrate it. And it was so refreshing that it wasn't the massive stressful to do that my family had. My family always did like 3 or 4 different appetizers and all the fixings at dinner, and then 3 or 4 desserts, and then whatever, and lots of pomp and circumstance. And I don't know how anybody can do it. Of course, the people that were doing it were miserable because on top of everything, they have work as normal. And my mom was a single mom, so she had 2 kids that she was rearing up, and then she had like this meal that she had to prepare because nobody else in the family, I don't know why, but nobody else was going to do it. Well, actually, I do know why I wouldn't do it. I would just order pizza or have hot dogs or something because I just couldn't be bothered. And the whole scenario to me would be about being around each other versus the meal. But anyway, so that's what I did this year. I'm looking forward to having it lower key again next year, or I guess this year, 2025. But yeah, it was definitely a good experience. I hope that your experience was also good over the holidays, whether or not you celebrate. Like I said, I don't celebrate, but I went to somebody else's celebration. So hopefully, even if you don't celebrate, you're around safe people or you're doing something that you enjoy or whatever the case is. Hopefully, you know as well that even if that's not the situation, that you're not alone. There's a lot of people that feel very isolated around that time. And I hope that you had some comfort in your life, regardless of whether you had a situation that allowed you to feel a part of things and with safe people and whatever. As you can see, I haven't gotten dressed today. I'm still in my house coat and whatever. That might just be the scenario for today. By the time I'm done having this food and whatever, I might not see a point. Yeah, that feels right in my heart. I think it'll be just a PJ day. That's what's going on. The good news is, if you're looking online for work and whatever, you can still do that without getting dressed. Way back in the day, back in my day, now I'm making myself seem old. I remember a time when looking for work meant going out dressed up you're in business or business casual or whatever, and you went to different businesses and you wanted to be presentable. You wanted them to be impressed by you as a person when you dropped off your resume. So I'm happy that's not the situation anymore, because if I have a day where it's like, oh, I feel so much fatigue on the amount of decisions and things that I have to do today, and I have to add to that showering, getting dressed, going out, going to these different places, and being business worthy or hireable. I'm not sure if I could do that now. Back in the day, I know I had energy for it, but now I honestly don't feel like I have energy for that. I do not know how that would be. The bottom of my mug doesn't leak, but when you wash it, like water gets stuck in crevices. And so I noticed that my mug thermos thing tends to sweat out quite a bit of liquid. I know that it's not actually leaking because the liquid isn't hot. So if I pour boiling water into it, it's not like it's hot water that's spilling out. It's actually really cold water or room temperature water at that point. The way that things end up working in my place is I'll wash it right before using it, usually. And so I'll wash it, and within a half hour, it's being used again. So I'm washing it just to make sure that I can continue to use it. So that's when that happens. But is it still doing that? No. I just noticed that. I don't know much, but I do know that water and electricity don't work. So I want to make sure that my mug doesn't sweat out all this water near electrical appliances. I was thinking about resolutions. Let me know if you have any resolutions that you do. I used to do a lot of them. Yeah, I used to do a lot of New Year's resolutions, and I was pretty good at them too. My resolutions were a little bit different though. Like some people would say, I want to lose 15 pounds in 3 months or whatever. And mine would be, you keep walking past this bench on this street, and it's a funky looking bench, and you always go by and say you want to sit on it, and this year you're going to do that. So that would be my resolution. I would have maybe 100 resolutions, but most of them were like that. Most of them were like things that I could do in a moment, not things that had heavy planning or were at all a punishment or seemed to be punishing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did have resolutions about fitness or whatever, but it wasn't out of a feeling of shame or a feeling that I was not good in my body. So, a fitness thing that I wanted to do a couple of years back is I wanted to go to a hula hooping event. I wanted to learn how to hula hoop. Do I know now? I got a hula hoop. I can't hula hoop, so I have to relearn somehow. But that's what I did. In that same year, I wrote a resolution saying that I wanted to go to what was the dance? Maybe it was the cha-cha. But anyway, there was a dance that I wanted to do, and there was a meetup for it, and I kept seeing that this meetup was there. And I had as my resolution, you keep seeing that this is there. Maybe this will be something that you really enjoy. This year, you're going to go and try it out. It's free. These people meet up all the time, so if you decide that you like it, you can go to it again. And maybe you see the same people over and over again, and maybe you get to know each other and whatever. Wouldn't that be great? So that's the way that I had done them in the past. I don't know about this year. I don't know what I want to do this year, how I want to focus myself this year. If you have any ideas about that, let me know. Because I'm definitely up for a perspective shift. And I don't know what it'll be yet. So let me know. I want to encourage people that if they decide to make New Year's resolutions, that it's totally fine to iterate. You might go by a couple months and say, this is not doable. I'm finding it hard to do this thing for whatever reason. That's fine. This is your thing. And it's not binary, it's not like a win or lose thing. And you can decide that you win. You can decide lots of things. And I also want to encourage if a person, the only thing they do is get through the year, that's great. That's what I did, and I'm still doing the second half of 2024. That's what I'm doing now, is just like I scrapped everything that was plans for the rest of 2024. And I have a new thing that I'm working on. And just trying to get through the day. That's it. No actual goals other than trying to get back into whatever employment thing that I was in before. Or a different employment thing. It doesn't like obviously there's certain things that I don't want to do or can't do, but there's a lot that I can do. So just something that pays the bills, something that I don't mind, hopefully. And yeah, that's kind of what has been on the forefront. So that is why I had such a hard time deciding for myself what resolutions were going to be, because yes, I definitely relate to people that are like, I'm just getting through it. I'm just doing what I need to do that day to be able to say that I got through today. The good news is I have so far 100% success rate of getting through bad days. So far, I have that. But if that's all my goal, if that's all your goal, that's fine too. I just like pondering what else there could be. It gives me comfort to believe that there might be a situation where I do not feel as I do right this moment. And I'm not in this situation that I find myself in. I find comfort in that. Just like, you know, with if there's a situation in politics or whatever, I feel comfort that there's somewhere in the world that has no idea what is happening in my world. And maybe that feels sad to other people, maybe that feels isolating, but there's no but. I want to validate that. My perspective is a comforting one where, like, there's a place outside of this. This bubble is not all there is. Yeah, that's comforting. My gym membership just started up again. I freeze it during the summer and fall. The summer is hibernation time. I don't like going out. Um, the sun kind of feels like 1,000 bees are stinging me. It's better with sunscreen for sure, but it still tingles and not in a fun, happy, sparkly way. And then fall, I usually am out more and whatever. So I like enjoying being out in fall weather. So I freeze the membership and then it unfreezes in January. The only problem with that is there's a lot of people that hit the gym in January, which I think is awesome. So I have to compete with them a little bit. But I do like while it's I usually go out a lot when it's snowing, but I do like the option of something else, of being able to have a destination sometimes and move my body in a different way. I don't use the gym so much to lose weight. I used to go to a spin class, and my goal for the spin class was just to be there, was just to go. It was first thing in the morning on a Saturday, I remember. And I would go, and the teacher would put on rock and roll music and whatever. And I would sing along and I would do the things. And I remember when I first went to her class, it was a hard class. So even doing what she was asking me to do was hard. And I remember there was a point of that class where it was so hard, I felt the stress coming out of my eyeballs. And after the class was done, I just felt so great. It was so awesome. So I'm hoping there's something like that around now. I don't know. 6 months is a long time in terms of workout classes. Sometimes things are available, some things don't be are don't be. Let's try English, shall we? Some things are no longer available. And I just hope that I find something that is as stress relieving. But even if I don't find anything that strenuous, just going out and moving my body and whatever definitely helps with the stress levels. Definitely will also help. It won't necessarily be to that extent where I feel it like pouring out of me, but it will in other ways. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to it. I'm looking forward to just bringing my book to the gym and going on a recumbent bike and being there for like an hour and a half. That's the kind of person I am at the gym. I don't particularly like the gym, and I don't particularly do that every time. But sometimes it's like the goal is just to get there and read my book and sit in a recumbent bike. That's it. Which is good because those bikes are usually free. It's not a lot of people that are usually on those bikes. So it's like, okay, well, It's not like I'm taking up anybody's spot if I go and just do the bare minimum. I'm looking forward to it cooling down. Lately, it's been a little warmer, just looking outside. But because it's quite flat here, water doesn't go anywhere. And so when things start melting, you end up with these big puddles and a lot of slop around because it's not going to move. I'm used to a place where the landscape is naturally graded. So water would just run, and you could place a gutter system so that the runoff hits the right gutters. And you don't have this situation. Here, you can't do that. So I like when it's a little bit cooler, so there is no melt, and you don't have so much ice. So I look forward to that. But when it starts warming up and things start melting, overnight gets really cold still. So you end up with a lot of ice everywhere. You're slip sliding around. And you're not slip sliding in the way that you want to slip slide. It's not fun. You're not able to do that on an ice rink, for instance. You're doing that just trying to get to the store. I could do without that, thanks. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it being colder and not having to worry about that so much. You can tell I'm thinking about some things. I've been trying to figure out how much I actually am eating these days. Like right now, like I've had 2 meals because I'm counting this as a meal. And I've had tea and there's sugar in this. And there's some fruit juice in my fizzy water. So I think I'm in good shape. I'm proud of myself for that. I don't know if anybody can relate, but I'm sure somebody can. So, when the hormones are right, are spot on, I feel like I have a hollow leg and I eat and eat and eat. And it's not the reason I don't call it a binge is because I'm very conscious of my decisions. It's not like a panic or whatever. It's very planned out, it's very methodical. And there is absolutely no shame. I'm like, that was that. Okay, on to the next thing. I remember calling up my friend and saying to this person, do you want to come with me to McDonald's to have an absurd amount of chicken wing or chicken nuggets? And she said, was it she? I can't remember which friend now. Anyway, they said, how much is absurd? And I said, 50. Complete with fries, a drink, and maybe an apple pie. I'd be a horrible pregnant person. And they came with me, and that's exactly what I did. And I was able to go on not a hike, but we were able to walk an hour after that. I had no issue. Like I knew that I was feeling a certain way and I had a craving for McNuggets and I knew I was going to go and get McNuggets and then I enjoyed the hell out of them while I was eating them. And then I moved on with my life. So as much as sometimes I don't eat that much, other times I do eat a lot. But that's only like once or twice a month that happens. And that's always like a hormone thing. It's great being a woman. But yes. So it all has to even out somehow. You would think. I have so many crafting ideas that I want to complete. But I can't do any of them until I finish the puzzle that's on the table. Drama, I tell you, drama in my brain. How fortunate am I to be able to do a puzzle and have this predicament? It's true. I am very fortunate for that. Even though I feel like it's an oh woe is me thing. Even though it stresses me out a little bit. I don't know about the copyright about such things, but I would definitely invite you along so we could hang out and puzzle together. I guess you don't have to see the puzzle. I don't know. Let me know. Would it be weird if puzzling was happening and you weren't able to see the puzzle? Or would it be okay because you'd be doing your own thing and you wouldn't necessarily be needing to see what I was puzzling? Let me know how you feel, because that would be interesting. I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind having you here with me and gab. I don't know if you like me gabbing. I can talk about lots of different things. So let me know if there's a topic that you want me to ramble on about too, because definitely there are a lot that I can do. I'm going to think about this puzzle thing a little bit more. I'm sure there's a way that we can do that. I'm gonna figure that out for next time. But as I finished my snack and well, I'm not finished my tea, but my tea's not going to be finished for a few hours. I am going to let you go. But thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you're having the best time in the situation that you find yourself in today, and I will talk to you later.